Okay, I just rebought a Combat Sub 39 blue GL0400, which I owned, I guess it was 2 years looking at my records. Man, time flies. I really like this watch. I had it for, that was the beginning of when I had it, around April, and it's now March of 2022. And sorry, that was April of 2022. Now it's March of 2024. And I don't know, I really like this, and I'll go into thoughts of why I rebought this later. But one thing that has to be fixed is I never care for the damn polished center links. So what I'm trying to do with some ultra fine sandpaper, I guess this is like a steel wool pad sort of, is that I'm trying to brush down and get that brushing out of it. And right now it's looking like it's working pretty good here. This is where it's got the most traction and friction at the ends, but hopefully with enough work it'll all even out. We'll see. It's mostly on the surface, like the back half of these links are usually just brushed anyways. It's only right on the surface, so even the areas that kind of bend around, like it doesn't really, that high polish doesn't really follow through around the edges that much anyways. So this is what it looks like originally, and this is where I'm at. So I've been at this for a few minutes now. Hopefully it'll turn out good. I'm pretty confident I can get it. The main thing is I'm holding this down with basically some double-sided tape so that it doesn't move, and I'm using this grid as a guide. So what I'm doing is I'm putting this over it and applying even pressure as much as possible, and I'll brush it down. And what I'm looking at is a certain texture or point on the edge of this sand piece here that I'm sanding with, and I'm matching it with this line. So I'm going slow and steady and looking at that and following that, so it gets a nice even brush going down. What you don't want to do, what I've discovered in the past, if I'm not careful, when I didn't secure things and have a guide to keep the direction uniform as much as possible, is that you start to get some cross brushing. And as fine as you brush it, you'll start to, if you look closely, you can kind of see that, and it looks sloppy, you know, because it's not all uniform. You start to see things go here and there, and it looks like crap. So hopefully, if I do this right and do it evenly down, it should all look uniform without any, weird, brushing that goes a little bit, whisking off a little bit here and there. It should be all even all the way down. That's the goal. We'll see in the end. I just wanted to document this before we continue on. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So we'll see how that goes. All right, so I believe I am done. Try to capture this different angles. Did my best to brush it as evenly as possible. I think this will work. I think either way, it's going to be better than having those high polish center links that it originally had. Because I mean, the watch head doesn't even have any real high polish in the areas. And here's how I match this up with the clasp. Just try to do that. I can push it down like that, but yep. And luckily there's no high polish on the sides either, so I didn't have to worry about, if it was high polish and I've run this sandpaper or sponge, whatever you want to call it, this pad here, sand pad, over it. It's soft. It could potentially, it probably did go over the edges a bit, and that might have softened any high polishing over there. It might have brought some of the brushing down, but since it's all brushed on the sides anyways, that's not going to be an issue. But what do you think? I think this should hold up a lot better. I mean, if I really look at it, I could probably, see that there is a slight, maybe, tonal difference between the center links and the outer. Because I think, originally these bits out here were never really high polished. Well, they have their particular finish, and the center one started off high polish, and then, I'm brushing that out. And so there's a slightly different effect underneath that brushing a bit. But I think overall it looks good. I think it's where it needs to be, where I want it to be. And we'll see it on the watch soon enough. Yeah, I had to do it all before I sized the bracelet because I didn't want to have a bunch of links that were already sized it and a bunch of links off to the side that are high polished still. Who knows? If I ever sell this, it should come as if they ever wanted to add links, they should all be matching, right? So this is the best way to make sure everything matches and then size it and, set them off to the side, whatever I don't use, extra links. So that was it. Basically, I kept going down one way and then I went down the other with this just to make sure I try to get even passes on both sides directions, but it's all linear without shifting. So and then I keep I look at some texture, something along the edge as I'm brushing it down and line it up with something that isn't changing, either one of these white grid lines or the center links, because they don't change in width. However, I don't want to match it to the outer part of the links because these are wider up top and then they taper. Not by much, I think it's 20 down to 18, but still, if I followed that, the brushing, if I followed one side, it'll start, I'd have to match this side, and as it tapers this way, that brushing will actually end up going sideways. If diagonally, you'll see that kind of go this way. And conversely, if I ended up switching between both, then you start to see some go this way and some go that way. That's no good. So you want to stay focused on something that's completely straight and parallel with the direction, which would be the center links. Either edges, they both run parallel, or I can look on the outside and go with the grid lines or something and follow that too, because they are parallel and straight down. So you get that straight brushing down. There shouldn't be a lot of cross brushing, which will make it look kind of cheap and amateurish and nasty. I think looks pretty good. I might hit it just a couple more passes just to be sure it's as even all the way through, and as well the end links. Just go a couple more times, and then that should be it. And next time you see this, it'll be on the bracelet, on the watch. I don't know. I didn't show it on the beforehand, but if you looked at my old video when I did a review of this and some other posting, you can see how it looks like on a high polish, the original finish with the high polish center links. It's okay, but it's not. I don't like high polish center links if I can avoid it, especially with such a wide area. There's a lot of high polish areas, and it will show scratches. This way, it's less obvious and it's easier to fix if it's all brushed. So that's it. Maybe I'll throw in once I've sized it and got onto the watch head, I'll show it at the end with it all together. All right. Okay, so I decided to just quickly film this, and you can see I'll reattach the bracelet onto the watch head. And what do you think? I think it matches pretty well. Any difference, it's pretty negligible. I don't think most people are going to be looking that closely at this watch, and I think over time, some wear and scratches and whatnot, it'll just all kind of blend together in that sense anyways. But yeah, much better. You can see, like I said, there's pretty much no high polishing on this. Maybe right in that metal piece that's between the crystal and the aluminum insert, and which I love because it's brushed aluminum, and that's brushed too. And then maybe a little bit on the edge of this coinage bezel, which is a nice bezel action. It's got a little spring back, but that's okay. It just fits right into place, and I can do this one-handed, so Hang on, let me pause this. No worries, perfect alignment. Just got it. Made it quicker to do it with both hands. Anyways, yeah, much better. Now I won't be as embarrassed to wear this with the brushed, with the high polish finish originally. That's much better. Give it a very tooly watch look, which it needed. I mean, it's Combat Sub. Yeah, there's a radiant blue dial, but so what? Overall, it comes up as pretty dark. It's probably a little bit brighter in this video, and I don't know. It's a really nice blue though. But overall, it's okay. You can have a little bit of radiance in a tool watch. You know that. I mean, I just consider it kind of a radio satin finish, satin brush in a way, like a radio brush out. And this is around the circumference, I guess, this way. And so it's basically a brush finish too on the dial surface if you think about it. It's not vertically, it just kind of fans out to create a radiance in a way. And that works. And even the text is actually metallic. If you look closely, all the text is actually metallic silver. It's not actually white. I don't think there's any white indexes. Even, it's kind of hard to tell here, but I'm almost certain that the print of that 5-minute, fine track on the outside is also probably silver too. But I can't zoom in close enough to really tell, but whatever. It would have been nice if the date window was silver too, I think, but it works though. I think it's perfect symmetry, it's good size, no cyclops. Yeah, it's a really cool watch for 39 millimeters. See how it performs, but I don't think it was much of a problem before. I think it was doing pretty well. The last one I have, hopefully this one will be just about the same, but these are pretty easy to regulate. The ETA or probably a Salida movement that's inside here. Quick adjustments and on my time graph over there, it should be fine. But we'll give it a run for a little bit before I do anything, unless it's terribly off for some reason. Hopefully not. Then I might get into it sooner than later. But yeah, that's it. I just wanted to share this. I could not film me doing the actual, brushing of this. I'll just try to describe to you how to do it. And it's fairly straightforward, and you should get this result. Just take your time, make sure that your strokes are straight. That's the most important thing. Keep them in the same direction ever, and try not to let it deviate off to the one side, otherwise you're going to get some fine cross brushing that you'll just notice underneath the mostly straight ones, and it'll look kind of messy, and you don't want that. I think I did a pretty decent job. No masking involved. I just brushed everything over. That way that the brush finish of the side links would basically follow the brushing texture of what I'm doing in the middle. And sort of that way it all kind of binds and together, and it's more cohesive finish. Yeah, much better, much better. All right, thanks for watching, and enjoy your watches. I shall be enjoying this very shortly.